Hey everyone, welcome back to our home renovation remodel edition thing. We're in the barn today. Well, we're starting in the barn. Look who's back. So the last episodes have been dedicated to doing the flooring in the kitchen, the sunroom, and the breakfast nook and the pantry. This time, Donovan's been meaning to come back for a while to work on the great room. We had some poor taping situation there in the seams. So he came back last week and took care of all the seams in the great room. So I think he just has to do a final sanding, and that whole room is ready for paint. So our thought is, well, why don't we just finish the great room and the office while we're at it, and get those rooms completely usable again, so that as I'm working through the details of building out the kitchen, we actually have the great room back, and we have the office for Lucy to move into. So today we are starting on the trim for those two rooms. So we have a few pieces here. The windows are going to be a little more involved. This is our baseboard assembly, which we're making the cap piece for. This shoe molding is right here. Those are able to be bought. And we also have these little cove moldings here, which are also able to be bought. But everything else we're going to make here. So this is what we're making. Pretty much all of it's going to come out of 1x6s and 1x8s. So that's what we did this morning. This is the baseboards and the caps, and this is the remainder of the stuff for the office. We chopped up all these boards into the blanks for the jams, the casings, the sills, aprons, the little molding cove thing, the bigger cove thing we got to make, and we were gonna go make the scraps to make the little bead thing. But this is the stack of boards for 7 windows. Yes, 6 windows. 6 for the great room, 1 for the office, 7 windows of trim right there. This is all chopped down to rough length. Now we're gonna go to my shop and rip it all to width before making profiles on it all. So the nice thing about chopping it all onto length now is we can do all the rip cuts in the shop without reconfiguring my shop. We got our cart, we got our power feeder set up. We start ripping all our pieces. We're starting with the 4-inch rips, which will give us the casing, and then the sill here, or the apron, sorry, this apron and the casing, 4 inchers. That's like 4 minutes. That's pretty quick.
It makes it, with 2 guys in the power feeder, it's just like, yeah.
There you go. There's the first batch. We did something.
We actually accomplished something.
So these little offcut strip thingies, they're going to get used to make this little, I don't know, bead detail thing that goes on the head casing. So we'll get some use out of it.
Yep.
All right, boss man, what's next? Okay, all our pieces are ripped, just like Donovan's ripped. We're going there today.
Yeah, oh baby.
Power feed makes it super fast and easy.
It's
So does having a second person. I mean, you're not worthless, but
yes, I am.
But power feed's worth something.
It is. Yeah, it's really quickly Because I can feed in and you're like stacking it about as fast as we
And like thoughtlessly too, just put it in and go. So we're gonna get started on the casing and apron, which has the bead, which we're gonna cut on this machine over here from Donovan's shop, and we'll get that set up and we'll show you that in a second. So this is the little molding machine that Donovan has, the Williams and Hussey 206. There's the cutters. You go in there like that. So we got this one set up here to run the casings and the apron.
I just think about that for a second.
This is so many different things going on. So this is an example of the casing. It has the bead on both sides, so this gets run in 2 passes. And then the apron just has the 1 bead, so it's just going to be 1 pass. So we're going to start by running these casings here. And I don't know. That's it.
Run it.
And there are the apron pieces with the bead on one side. So those 2 casings and aprons are off the list. Okay, next up we're on to our sills. So the underside gets kind of an OG profile, and then we'll put a round over onto the top to make a bull nose and a cove. So that takes care of all of the sills. So on this one, I had this fence on the router. That's because the bearing, if you're doing a bull nose kind of profile like this. To actually create that ball nose profile, the bearing's going to be down here in the profile that was cut on the bottom. So in order to keep this bearing from cutting us in even deeper here, that fence just keeps us all in line and keeps us referenced here on that very outside edge. So that is all of the sill boards all ready to go. Didn't bother with the back corner because these get notched around to make the jambs for the bottom. And then Donovan has been working on the bead things for the head casing. These little pieces here. That's what those look like. A little, basically just a bead that was on the casing and the apron. And that was done with one of these, I don't know, what, bull nose bit things?
Half round bit.
Is that what it's called? Half round?
Yeah. Surprised. It's a half round bit.
Okay. Oh, do you want to spring for the full round or?
That would have been a little tough to run. We can do some dowels.
You make some dowels? All right, so we're gonna, I don't know, tidy up a little bit and move on to whatever the hell's next. Okay, well, I think we have sufficiently made a mess of the shop that I previously cleaned last week. There's crap everywhere and sawdust everywhere. That takes care of all the pieces of molding that we're going to need for the window assemblies. We have about half a day left, so we're going to start working on the baseboard assemblies. So the lower piece needs a rabbet in it. We'll need to rabbet the upper piece and rip these strips out so we can run them through the molder. So we'll work on getting this together next. Or next, because next we're going to do a little bit of cleanup work, and we're going to get all the stuff that we made already up into the house so that it's out of the way and probably can't get damaged. Or can they get more damage in there?
Damage where?
I was like, yeah, we could put this stuff in the house so we don't like damage them. But I don't
Get it to the house first.
Ah.
Then we'll decide how much we damage it.
Okay, first we get in the house, then we decide. Very smart.
Should work, huh? Do the top on one and the bottom on the other. One set. A little bit of an overcut. That should work.
So there is the blanks for all the caps. And so these are the custom knives that you can get made. And actually, they turn around.
It's got my
pretty
name
quickly.
on it.
Oh, really? They actually stamp it for you? Look at that. Engraved it.
That cost extra.
Well, yeah, I build a client, right?
Yeah. Whoa.
So you can set them a profile and they'll custom cut you whatever knives you want. And you had them in like 3 days, I think. It was like
Yeah,
over
I
the
think it
weekend,
was.
right?
We okayed it one day. They cut it the next.
Yeah.
Shipped out the next day, and then we had it the day after. So it was like from the day we approved it to it was in our hand was 4. Or actually, it was less because it showed up on Saturday. I think we ordered on Wednesday.
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, we ordered on Wednesday, and I had it on Saturday.
Yeah. So we just sent them the drawings, and they actually custom cut that thing because it's a little bit of a different profile than what's typically available because it's got a little bit of a different curvy deal going on. So anyway, that's the knives. They bolt right onto that cutter head, so you can put on any combination of knives or whatever width's up to 6 inches.
6 inches, yep.
And they also do the straight knives too. So if you want,
Knives.
if you want a 6-inch planer for something, you could do it. And what's pretty cool about this, it all indexes based off of this little shelf for this rabbit back here. So they're all self-indexing, and then your left and right is all indexed based off of the holes. So my only experience with the molding machines was the Woodmiser ones. So they're on the Gibbs, and they slide anywhere you want. So to get left and right alignment, you do have to kind of play around a little bit to make sure that they are both aligned left to right. So having the actual holes in there is kind of nice. So setup is pretty quick. Then you have your little guides that are plywood or whatever.
Yeah, there's like a 3/8 or whatever the equivalent, the metric. It's like a Baltic birch.
Oh, yes. Metrique. And the other one's more like a featherboard kind of thing. It's got a
so
slot in
a
it.
little bit of a.
There you go. Yeah, so a little Bowie thing there. So it presses it into the other fence. And what's kind of fun with this is you can do straight moldings or trim. You can do any kind of curve you want too.
You can do a straight curve or you can do an elliptical.
Ooh, elliptical curves.
Yeah, so you can do. Someday.
Some
You need to put a window in just to use
just that.
Just,
We need a curve window
no.
just for that. Okay, one custom fence later, and
Bolts on the floor.
bolts. So this taller fence will allow us to reach up past that rabbit and actually guide the piece through that knife properly. So we'll run a few test pieces, and then once it's dialed in, we can run however many pieces of cap we have. I don't know, 16 or something. So that takes care of making all the trim. That's gonna go in here in the great room and downstairs in the new office. We got it all staged here on the scaffold at this nice convenient height. So next time we'll get going on the install, converting all of these window trims into a much more elaborate trim package to overall just kind of go more along the lines with how much like trim and stuff is gonna be happening kind of in there to sort of unify things a little bit. So we'll see you next time. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on the home renovation remodel, whatever we're calling a thing, please feel free to leave us a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, he's just walking.
What? Walking. Happy woodworking.
There you go.
Hey, I remember.